During this lesson you will be required to fill out a worksheet. I recommend you read through the worksheet before viewing the lesson. In order to give you time to do this, you can use the pause button at the bottom of the screen. Learning outcomes. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to illustrate and give a definition for each of the following: a fire breast, a fire rope, fireplace lintel, gathering, throat unit, throat, mid feathers or widths, a fireback, chimney stack, flaunching, and a throating or drip, and flashings, and lead tray. Fire breast. The portion of the building that contains the fire rope and flues and usually projects into the dwelling. Fire ropes are the openings at floor level that contain the grates and stove, etc. Fireplace lintel. This is a lintel used over the fire rope. It has a splayed back which gives a smooth passage for the smoke up to the flue liners. Gathering. This is the reduction of the size of the yoke to the size of the flue liner. Throat unit. This is a precast concrete unit which combines both the lintel and the gathering and provides a seating for the first flue liner. The throat is a narrow opening 110mm approximately between the fire rope and the flue. It can be seen on the next slide. The mid feathers or widths. These are the walls that separate flue liners from one another and should be a minimum of 100mm in thickness. The throat. This is a narrow opening 110mm approximately between the fire rope and the flue. Questions. Give a definition for each of the following and use a sketch to illustrate your answers. A fire breast. A fire rope. A fireplace lintel. Gathering. Throat unit. Throat. Mid feathers or widths. Here we have a diagram of a precast concrete gathering unit. We can see the size of it suits blocks 450 deep, 900 wide, 215 high. Fireback. This is used at the back of the fire rope and is made from fireclay or concrete containing high alumina cement. Fireclay. This consists of a material called silica and has good resistance to very high temperatures. Alumina cement is highly resistant to sulfate attack and high temperatures, which can all be found present in fire ropes. So the fireback is used to contain the fire within the fireplace. Firebacks can come in up to 6 pieces to allow for expansion, and also come in various sizes. Chimney stack. This is the portion of the building that projects above roof level and contains flue liners and a terminal pot. Flaunching. This is the sloping concrete or sand and cement on top of the chimney stack, which throws the water clear off the stack. Throating or the drip. This is a small groove created under a precast chimney capping or a windowsill to allow rainwater drip off the concrete, thus preventing it from rolling back onto the brickwork. Here we have 2 photographs, which are 2 bad examples of flaunching. We can see the one on the left hand side has all cracked, obviously from the extreme weather up at the highest part of the building. The problem with this flaunching is that it's too thin. There isn't enough sand and cement there in order to weather it correctly. The photograph on the right hand side, we can see that obviously they had some problems because the original flaunching there is too thin. There's all sorts of problems going on with that stack, but you can see they've just heaped up a load of sand and cement around the top of the terminal, or the bottom of the terminal pot, to try and rectify the problem. The best thing to do with that chimney there would be to plaster the entire chimney and put on some proper flaunching. Questions. Give a definition for each of the following and use a sketch to illustrate your answers. Mid-feathers are widths. Fireback. Chimney stack. Flaunching. Throating or drip. Flashings. These are strips of lead used at the junctions of the roof and the chimney to prevent rainwater following the chimney stack into the room below. Lead tray. This is a horizontal piece of lead inserted the full width of the stack where it comes through the roof. This prevents the passage of water down through the stack. Questions. Give a definition for each of the following and use a sketch to illustrate your answers. Flashings. Lead tray. In conclusion, the fire breast. This is the part of the dwelling containing the flues. The fire rope. This is the rope that contains the grate on the ground floor, or the stove. A fireplace lintel. This bridges over the fire rope, and it's usually splayed at the back in order to facilitate the passage of smoke up towards the flue liners and out of the building. Gathering. This is the reduction of the ope to the flue liner size. The throat unit. This is a precast gathering unit. The throat. 110mm ope between the fire ope and the flue. The mid feathers are the widths. These are the walls that separate flue liners. They must be a minimum of 100mm thick. A fireback. This is made of fireclay or concrete, and it's a backing to the fire rope. The chimney stack. This contains the flues above roof level. The flaunching. This is the weathering to the top of the stack, usually done with sand and cement or concrete. Throating. This is a drip on the underside of a capping. Flashings. These are used at roof junctions for weathering. They're usually made from lead. Sometimes they can be made from tin or plastic. A lead tray. This is a horizontal DPC used in chimney stacks. This can also be made from tin.